Welcome to this lesson from Moments, the Class 9 English Supplementary Reader. Today, we bring you a beautiful and heart-touching story by Anton Chekhov, titled The Beggar. Anton Chekhov was one of Russia's greatest short story writers and playwrights. Born in 1860, he is known for his deep psychological insight and masterful storytelling. Trained as a physician, he often portrayed ordinary lives with realism, subtle humor, and compassion. His works, such as The Cherry Orchard, Uncle Vanya, Three Sisters, and The Seagull, revolutionized modern drama. Chekhov's short stories are considered classics for their concise style and profound exploration of human emotions and social conditions. In The Beggar, he shows us how compassion can transform even the most broken soul. On a cold afternoon in Russia, a poor man stood at the gate of an advocate named Sergei. The man's clothes were torn, his shoes mismatched, and his face pale from hunger. With trembling lips, he pleaded, "Kind sir, have pity on a poor, hungry man. For 3 days, I have had nothing to eat. I used to be a village school teacher, but I lost my job through intrigues and false accusations." Sergei looked carefully at the beggar. His drunken eyes, his red patches on the cheeks, and his ragged overcoat, they all told a story of misery and deceit. And then, Sergei suddenly remembered. He had seen this same man before. Just a few days earlier, this very beggar had told him that he was a student who had been expelled. Sergei frowned and said sternly, "Didn't I meet you in Sadovia Street? You told me you were a student, not a teacher." The beggar looked startled, stammering in confusion. But Sergei's memory was clear. "Enough of your lies," he snapped. "This is dishonesty, swindling. I shall call the police." Terrified, the beggar dropped his act. He placed his hand on his chest and confessed, "Sir, I was lying. I am neither a student nor a teacher. I once sang in a choir, but was dismissed for drunkenness. But what else can I do? No one believes the truth from a beggar." Sergei's anger cooled a little. He looked at the man and said firmly, "Then work. That's what you can do." The beggar sighed. "Work? Yes, I know. But where can I find it?" Sergei replied, "You can chop wood for me." The beggar hesitated. His pride and weakness battled inside him. But finally, he nodded. Sergei called his cook, Olga, and said, "Olga, take this man to the shed and let him chop wood." The beggar followed Olga reluctantly. He did not want to work. He was sick, weak, and ashamed. From his dining room window, Sergei watched as Olga led the beggar across the snowy yard. Olga was not gentle. She scolded him harshly. "You miserable drunkard. Move faster." She thrust an axe toward him, pointed to a pile of logs, and glared. The beggar sat on a log, lost in thought. Then he slowly pulled a piece of wood, placed it upright, and tried to chop, but the axe slipped. He tried again, weakly. The wood fell each time. His hands shook from cold and hunger. Seeing this from his window, Sergei's anger melted into pity. He realized how miserable and broken the man truly was. An hour later, Olga came back and said, "The wood has been chopped." Sergei replied kindly, "Good. Give him half a ruble. If he wants, he may come again on the first day of every month." And so, the beggar began to return. Each month, he came to Sergei's house to do small jobs, shoveling snow, cleaning the yard, or beating dust from carpets. He earned a few kopecks each time, sometimes even an old piece of clothing. He still looked weak, but something inside him was beginning to change. Later, when Sergei shifted to a new home, he called the beggar, whose name was Lushkoff, to help with the move. This time, Lushkoff came sober, but quiet and gloomy. He walked behind the wagons, shivering in the cold, embarrassed as the workers laughed at his weakness. When the work was done, Sergei called him inside and said, "I'm glad my words have had some effect. You seem sober and willing to work. What is your name?" "Lushkoff," he replied softly. Sergei smiled and said, "Well, Lushkoff, I can offer you cleaner work now. Can you write?" "Yes, sir," said Lushkoff. Sergei handed him a letter. "Take this to a friend of mine tomorrow. He'll give you some copying work. Work hard, don't drink, and remember my words." Touched, Lushkoff thanked Sergei and left. From that day onward, he never came back to the yard for menial work again. 2 years passed. One evening, Sergei stood at the theatre ticket counter when he noticed a familiar face. A small man in a sealskin cap and a coat with a fur collar was paying for a ticket with small copper coins. Sergei looked closer. "Lushkoff, is that you?" The man turned. It was indeed Lushkoff, but he looked healthy, neat, and confident. "Yes, sir," he said with a smile. "I'm a notary now. I earn 35 rubles a month." Sergei's eyes lit up with joy. "That's wonderful. I'm proud of you, my friend. You see, I helped you take the first step." But Lushkoff shook his head gently. "No, sir. It was not you who changed me. It was your cook, Olga." Surprised, Sergei asked, "Olga? What do you mean?" Lushkoff's eyes grew moist as he said, "When I used to come to your house, she would scold me, calling me a drunkard, a wretch, but then she would sit across from me and cry. She wept for me, sir. She felt sorry for me." He paused and continued, "You may not know this, but I never chopped a single stick of wood for you. She did it all herself. While she worked, she would pray for me. Her tears, her compassion, they changed my heart. It was her kindness that saved me from ruin." A deep silence followed. Then, as the theatre bell rang, Lushkoff smiled faintly and said, "There goes the bell. Goodbye, sir." He bowed politely and walked away. Sergei watched him go, his heart filled with admiration for Olga, the woman whose simple kindness had transformed a lost soul. Anton Chekhov's The Beggar teaches us a timeless lesson that people don't change through anger, punishment, or lectures. They change through kindness, compassion, and understanding. Even a small act of empathy, like Olga's silent sacrifice, can give someone a reason to start again. So, the next time you meet someone lost or broken, remember, your compassion might be the spark that changes their life forever. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe for this channel, The Learning Tree, and share with your classmates through WhatsApp and other social media. See you in the next video. Until then, take care and goodbye.